Arizona is this year's biggest underdog in the Sweet 16. Is that number deserved? Can the Wildcats pull off the upset? Tommy Lloyd has made 3 Sweet 16s in his first 4 seasons as Arizona's head coach, but has yet to make the Elite 8. Is this the year? My name is Kevin Thomas from the AZ Wildcats Podcast, here to break down Arizona's Sweet 16 matchup with the Duke Blue Devils and Jon Scheyer. Coach Jon Scheyer has very quietly been building himself quite the foundation with his Duke program. 87 wins in his first 3 seasons as a D1 head coach is good enough for 4th all time behind just Tommy Lloyd, Brad Stevens, and Brad Underwood, as you can see right there. But it's not just Jon Scheyer that's got the X's and O's on lock for Duke. It's also his incredible superstar freshman, Cooper Flagg, who is one of 3 freshmen ever to have 30-plus points, 15-plus rebounds, and 10-plus assists through just 2 NCAA tournament games since 1984. Getting these stats via CBS. Cooper Flagg, Shea Seals, and Kenny Anderson, the only 3 freshmen to make that feat. Cooper Flagg, you want some more stats? He's led Duke in every major statistical category pretty much since game 1 of this season. That means points. That means assists. That means steals, rebounds, and blocks. Cooper Flagg can really do it all. He stands at 6'10". He can shoot the outside shot, shoot the mid-range. We all know Cooper Flagg's skill set is out of this world, unbelievable, likely to be the number 1 overall pick in this upcoming draft. But it's not just Cooper Flagg. It's also the incredibly incendiary Tyrese Proctor, who is on fire in these first 2 NCAA tournament games. 13 from 16 from behind the 3, 7 assists, and 44 points through those 2 games for Tyrese Proctor. So while everyone thinks it's just Cooper Flagg, Duke has dogs. Con Knipple also still a threat from behind the 3, despite being 6'7". You might look at him and think, can he shoot? No, he can't shoot, but he can shoot. 9, 2, and 2.5 for Con Knipple in the NCAA tournament. Duke is not just skilled, they're also huge. The tallest team in the country, no rotation player shorter than 6'5". Khaman Maluach leading the way at 7'2". The freshman from South Sudan is a true rim protector. And not only is he a true rim protector, he's kind of mobile out there. He can kind of do a little bit of everything from a defensive standpoint. And here is Arizona coach Tommy Lloyd talking about the challenges that Duke's size brings to the table.
Sure. I mean, obviously they got great, length, athleticism, and they got really good scheme. I mean, their defensive numbers are off the charts. They've been dominating games defensively, and also been playing great offensively, but, their great defense is helping out their great offense. So, it's really impressive. And Maluach, he's a problem in there. I mean, he's a legitimate, rim protector that you don't see every day. He's got mobility, and his ball screen coverages, he can get up to get back to protect the rim. So, he's a hard guy to score over if you're trying to go at him one-on-one in the post. So, he definitely presents a lot of challenges.
It does present a lot of challenges, and Khaman Maluach's versatility certainly presents a lot of challenges for the Arizona Wildcats as well. He's not the only big guy that Duke has. Patrick Ngongba II is also a 6'11" freshman that has played more recently for the Duke Blue Devils. He had a nice role in that Baylor victory as well, picking up a couple of blocks. And Ngongba has 8 blocks over his last 3 games. He did not play against Arizona in that first matchup. And, part of what makes Arizona such a big underdog in this matchup by the books is Duke has the highest net rating ever since 1996 when, an older Duke team had a higher net rating, and they have won 28 of their last 29 games, the second active longest win streak in the nation, just behind Houston with 12 games. They're the only team in the country ranked among the top 3 in both offensive and defensive raw efficiency per KenPom. But enough about the Duke Blue Devils. Arizona has dogs too. The Gritty Boys are coming for the Duke Blue Devils on Thursday, and let's talk about how Arizona can get this done on Thursday. Caleb Love, the Duke killer. Everyone's talking about Caleb Love this week, and let's look at the pedigree of one Caleb Love. 212 points in the tournament, leads all active scorers in the NCAA tournament, only above Mark Sears, his buddy RJ Davis, Ryan Kalkbrenner, and Jeremy Roach, who Love is also quite familiar with from his time at UNC. Caleb Love is going to be needed if you're Arizona in this game, and it's not just Caleb Love, though. Yes, you're going to need his high-scoring ceiling in this one. He only shot 1 for 9 from 3 in the November matchup between the two teams. You're going to need better from that from Caleb Love in this matchup, which is fine, which is fair. But let's talk about some of the other players that no one's really talking about in this matchup. Tobe Awaka. I expect him to play really well versus Khaman Maluach and his size if Tobe's positioning is just right. He has a low center of gravity that I think could actually give Maluach some problems down low. We saw Norchad Omier in the Baylor game in the last round kind of giving Maluach some problems on the offensive end until he picked up that third foul. Kind of changed everything. But I think if Arizona can kind of play through its bigs, they actually might have some success in this matchup. Carter Bryant, his length and his size in the passing lane specifically, I think could be huge for Arizona in this matchup. He was not the player that he is now in November. He was merely just a freshman stepping onto campus for the first couple of months. He did not quite have his feet under him. And I think it's safe to say Carter Bryant has improved tenfold from where he was at in November. So I expect him to give Arizona another look that they can throw at the wings of Duke, such as Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, players like that. Henri Veesaar is Arizona's only real matchup from a size perspective that they can throw at Duke in this one. The 7-footer could play a huge role for Arizona in the pick and roll game, both offensively and defensively. He also could force Maluach to step out to the perimeter a little bit. Veesaar, no stranger to knocking down the three as well. And finally, I want to mention KJ Lewis in this matchup. I think you could see KJ Lewis strapped to the hip of either Proctor or Knipple in this matchup. Mostly, you just want to make sure that their perimeter shooters cannot get some momentum for themselves in this one. And I think KJ Lewis could be the main driver of that for Arizona's defense. But how can Arizona actually overcome the Duke Blue Devils in this matchup? And that brings us to our keys to the game. Key number 1. You want to limit self-inflicted errors in this game. Looking back at some of Duke's most recent opponents, Baylor had only 5 turnovers in that game that they lost by 23. Louisville had 11 turnovers, lost to Duke by 11. UNC had 12 turnovers, lost to Duke by only 3 points. NC State had 11 turnovers, lost by 10. Auburn had 8 turnovers and lost by 6. Arizona in their matchup in November had 15 turnovers, losing the game by 14. I think if you can limit the self-inflicted errors such as turnovers, goaltendings, for example, silly fouls, really make sure that Duke has to beat you on their own and you're not going to beat yourself if you are Arizona in this matchup. Moving on to key number 2, front court physicality or front court play as a whole. Duke has 3 losses this year. In 2 of the 3 losses, they have lost the offensive rebounding percent battle to both Kansas and Clemson. I think if Arizona's bigs can utilize their physicality on the offensive boards to outwork Duke in that area, they could really make it easier on themselves and give Duke less opportunities to put the ball in the basket on the other end as well. Moving on to key number 3. You got to have a quick start in this game offensively and defensively, but mostly offensively in this game. You got to set the tone with not only your physicality, but your shooting as well. Arizona is 6-1 under Tommy Lloyd in the NCAA tournament when scoring 70-plus points, and they are 0-2 when scoring less than 70 points. Do you think that Arizona can really overcome the Duke Blue Devils in this matchup? Make your prediction in the comments down below. And if you found this video useful, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel as well. And I look forward to seeing you all on our post-game Thursday. And until then, bear down and go Cats.